What if I told you that the biggest academic advantage I ever had wasn't a tutor, wasn't a study app, wasn't some productivity system from a podcast? It was a language that changed how I read, wrote, and studied. I'm serious. Stay with me. My name is Josh. This fall, I'm starting at the University of Pennsylvania, where I plan to pursue a Bachelor of Arts in Classical Languages. This past June, I graduated as valedictorian of my high school with the highest GPA in my school's recorded history. I won 4 straight gold medals on the National Latin exam, and on the National Greek exam, I scored a 39 out of 42 years in a row, making me one of 6 students in the country to do that at my level. And I also got an $8,000 scholarship because of that. I've had my writing published in multiple literary magazines. I've been nominated as an American Voices nominee, which is a scholastic writing award that this past year was presented to fewer than 0.16% of applicants, and I'm a National Merit Scholar finalist. Now, I'm not listing all this to brag. I want you to know that this isn't just hype. What I'm actually about to say works. None of this would have happened, none of my accomplishments, none of my accolades, without Latin and Greek, because they changed how I approach words, sentences, and the study of language. Here's the thing most people never find out, though. Over 60% of English words come from Latin and Greek roots, and in science, medicine, and law, it's actually closer to 90. So when you learn these languages, you're not memorizing vocabulary anymore. You're decoding it. I remember sitting in a biology class back maybe in 8th, ninth grade, staring at the word photosynthesis on a test. Kids around me had flashcards for that word, but I didn't need one. Phos, I knew that was the equivalent of Greek for light. Synthesis, Greek meaning put together. Therefore, putting together with light. Boom, done, next question. And stuff like that would happen and still happens constantly. Circumspect, circum, around. Specere, to look. Boom, someone who looks around before acting. Philosophy, love of wisdom. Manuscript, written by hand. Once you have maybe 200 roots down, you can take an educated swing at almost any word English throws at you, whether it be on the SAT, in a chemistry textbook, or honestly, even in a Supreme Court opinion. I know you have some of those in APUSH or APGov. Actually, comment maybe the weirdest word you've ever seen, and I'll try to reply with its root. I don't know them all, but I think it's fun. I like to. Whatever. So, what I'm trying to get at here is that while other students memorize the dictionary, you don't have to. Why would you do that when you can just read it? Second thing, and honestly, this one probably changed my life more than the vocabulary did. Latin forces you to understand how sentences actually work. In English, you may be able to write decently on instinct. You've heard the language your whole life, so you kind of feel your way through it. But Latin doesn't let you do that. Every single word in a Latin or Greek sentence wears a uniform. Its ending tells you whether it's the subject, the object, the possessive, whatever it may be. To translate even one sentence of Caesar, you have to know exactly what every single word is doing and why. Do that for a year, and something strange happens to you. You start seeing the skeleton underneath your own English writing. Your essays get tighter. Your arguments stop wandering. When a teacher writes awkward phrasing in the margin, you actually know how to fix it because now you know the machinery behind it. I tutor students in Latin, Greek, Spanish, and English writing, and I watch this happen all the time in real time. The kids who study Latin and Greek don't just get better at Latin and Greek, their history essays improve, their lab reports improve. Everything improves. I can't stress it enough. If you're still not convinced, let's go over the third reason. Latin is the mother of Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian. People always forget Romanian. That's the fifth Romance language right there, Romanian. The mother and the daughters basically introduce themselves once you know Latin. I personally have New York State's seal of biliteracy in Spanish, and I'll be honest with you, Spanish felt kind of unfairly easy after I knew Latin. Aqua becomes agua, amicus becomes amigo. The verb systems rhyme with each other, basically. I was recently traveling through Spain, and in Cordoba and Granada, I kept reading Latin inscriptions on buildings that tourists were walking straight past. And that's the feeling I want everyone to be able to experience. The feeling that you get when the past stops being just mere wallpaper and actually starts talking in real time to you. It's really cool. Fourth reason, and this is the one people actually underestimate. Latin and Greek train you to sit with hard things, and that patience is a huge academic advantage. There's no shortcut through a Virgil passage, no app that does it for you, even with AI. Believe me, I've looked. You sit down, you work through it word by word, you get it wrong, you fix it, and eventually the sentences open up like a lock. That process, slow, careful, totally unglamorous, is the exact skill that separates A students from B students in every subject. Calculus rewards it, physics rewards it, AP Lit rewards it, everything rewards it, not just Latin and Greek, not just humanities. People ask me how I studied for 7 AP exams in a single spring. The honest answer is that Latin taught me how to study years before any of those exams even showed up. Now, here's the sad part. The objection I hear over and over. I've heard it 100 times probably, no joke. Why learn a dead language? Nobody speaks it. Well, here's my answer. Nobody speaks algebra either. Nobody speaks physics. You don't learn Latin to order coffee in ancient Rome. You learn it the way an athlete lifts weights, not because the barbell is the sport, but because the strength shows up everywhere else. Doctors, lawyers, writers, founders. Mark Zuckerberg studied classics. So did J.K. Rowling. So did a striking number of other people who went on to build enormously successful things. The language is dead, but the advantage is very much still alive. So here's my challenge for you. You don't need to enroll in a class tomorrow. Instead, for now, start with the roots. 10 Latin roots this week. Or Greek. Take your pick. Watch what happens the next time you hit an unfamiliar word in a textbook. If you want, I'll make a follow-up video with the exact roots I'd start with. Drop a comment and let me know. And hit like if you want a part 2. I'm going to be documenting a lot of this journey at Penn. The classics, the business stuff, all of it right here on this channel. And if you know someone stressing about finals, send them this video. I'm Josh. Thanks for watching. And remember, the advantage is very much still alive.